Hello, good evening. It is 1 a.m. and it's time for Strawberry's Gamer Society. Hey, welcome back, Action Man. It is time for a stream. So, where we left off yesterday was watching Dream, which was really fun. And today I'm going back to mom lectures because that's what I do. And tonight's topic is healthy eating for gamers. Because healthy eating is really important, especially in these lockdown times. Then we're not getting as much exercise and getting out as much as we ought to. Then it's important to eat right. And so I wanted to make sure that everybody in my audience knows how to eat right, because not everybody has parents. I mean, it's hard sometimes, like, people procreate, and that doesn't necessarily mean they know what they're doing in terms of being good parents and teaching people things. So, and healthy eating is one of those things most people learn from their parents, but some people don't. So that's why I'm here, just in case you didn't. So I'm going to reuse what we've got from the previous day, where we had our various gamer types, when we had people who interact with the world versus people who interact with other people versus people who act on people or people who interact with people. And we're going to take all this away and get rid of our PKer sign and all of that. And we're going to turn this into the healthy plate diet. So get rid of our explorers and, oops, come on, hit the sign. There we go. And, oops, get rid of our, oops, I guess I got rid of the other one first. And our socializers and our explorers and our achievers. And this is now going to be a plate. If you can imagine a circle-like plate for healthy eating, of what kinds of food would you have on your plate. And the current, oh, hello, hey, welcome. I'm doing healthy eating tonight, at least at the beginning, because not everybody has parents who teach them how to eat healthy foods, and what a good balance of healthy foods is. And then after that, we've got, how do you be a healthy eater if you're a gamer? It's just sort of when you prefer to spend time in front of the computer to spending time outdoors, how do you change how you eat healthy that way? So the basics of healthy eating, I'm going to go over the U.S. Government recommended stuff. They call it the My Plate diet. And the My Plate diet has got 5 parts to it, and I don't have quite enough wool, so I think I'm going to need to go shear some more sheep. See if we can get a little bit more wool here to make it be like I want it to be. Oh yay, we have some more colored sheep here. Oh, come on. Shear the sheep, don't hit the sheep. There we go. And we might just have to make up for it with if there's stuff I can't find, or if I don't have quite enough sheep wool, then I might just have to use white and ask you guys to pretend a little bit, because I just dyed some sheep earlier, and then I need to wait until I've got more colored wool. All right, come on, light gray sheep. Where are you? I saw you. Okay, well, I have enough to at least pretend. All right. Oh, more yellow. Yellow. There we go. Let's head back over. Oh, more yellow. Let's head back over to My Plate. I got lost again. Okay, this way. Hello, kitty. Alrighty, so in My Plate diet, basically on your plate, when you fill up a plate of food, and sort of over the course of the whole day. So it doesn't have to be at each meal individually, but over the course of the whole day, you want to have sort of 4 main sections. So one section is for grains. So we're going to make the grains yellow on your plate. And you want no more than about a quarter of your foods to be grains, and then about a quarter of your foods to be proteins, and about a quarter of your foods to be fruits. And I am going to use, so I really wish I had green, but I still don't have green. And those of you who were with me on stream for a couple of nights ago, you know that I spent over 2 hours looking for green dye and I still haven't found it. So we're going to have to pretend that this dark gray wool is green. And we've got vegetables is about a quarter of what you eat by volume in any given day. And the last one is fruits. So basically about half your plate should be fruits and vegetables. And this didn't go quite the way I wanted it to, but there we go. So there's my plate with a quarter of its fruits, quarter of its vegetables, quarter of its grains, and a quarter of its protein on the plate. And then off to the side, we've got dairy. So let's build a little milk tower over here. So dairy can be things like milk or yogurt. And the reason dairy is important, especially during your teen years, is it's a good source of calcium, and modern dairy that has vitamin D added is absorbed into the body much better. So you've got your glass of milk or yogurt or ice cream or, well, okay, moms shouldn't recommend ice cream, but ice cream is dairy. So you've got your milk, your dairy, grains, proteins, fruits, and vegetables. And then there's things within each of these categories that I want to make sure I get all the taglines right. But one of them is make half your grains whole. So you want to make sure that of your grains, whole grains are important. So it's like brown rice and whole wheat bread as opposed to white bread, stuff like that. So make half your grains whole. And vary your veggies. So what that means is don't always eat the same kind of vegetable every time, but have different vegetables. And let's see here. They also want you to vary your protein routine, and they want everybody to have 8 ounces of cooked fish per week. Now, I will fully admit that I am not a fish person. I do not like fish and don't tend to eat it at all, really. And so that's one of those things that I don't personally do. But what I do, I started having, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago now, problems with my eyes where they get really, really dry. And I went to the optometrist, and the optometrist found out that I wasn't eating any fish. And she said, that's your problem. You don't have any fish oil in your diet. And she recommended that I take fish oil supplements. And I have to say, it actually helped. Like, I'd never been the kind of person to take dietary supplements before, but after about 3 days of taking the fish oil supplements, then my eyes were not nearly as dry anymore. And I can tell, like, I'll take them every day, and then maybe I'll forget one day and I'll be fine. But if I forget 2 days in a row, then my eyes definitely notice. So having that kind of oil in your diet is actually important, and it makes a difference in your body. And our little tagline for fruits is focus on whole fruits. So not processed fruit product, but eating the whole fruit, and that's good for the fiber. Fruits tend to have more sugary stuff in them, but that makes them taste good, which is not bad. And then obviously you want to limit how much sugar and fat you eat directly, because too much sugar is not good for you. So that's the basics. That's the sort of thing that everybody should know. But now we got to think about, okay, if we're gamers, how do we make sure that we get the right amount of food and don't eat too much and don't eat too little? Because eating too little, there are some people who have problems with not eating at all and having lots of body image issues where they don't want to gain any weight, and that's called anorexia, where you don't eat any food at all. And then there's another condition called bulimia, where when you eat food, after you're done eating food, you do what's called purging it and throwing it back up again. And if you'd seen the Netflix series The Crown, then they show that Princess Di had problems with bulimia, and it can be, both of those are incredibly unhealthy behaviors. If you have a friend who is engaging in either of those behaviors, ask them to get help, because anorexia, of all of the mental health disorders, and anorexia and bulimia can be considered mental health disorders, anorexia, it has the highest death rate. I guess I'm not sure if they considered drug addiction to be a mental health disorder when they were saying that, because getting addicted to certain kinds of drugs also has a really high death rate. But anorexia has a huge death rate because what it does is it makes your heart it basically damages your heart muscle by starving your heart muscle, and then your heart muscle is unhappy and you wind up having a heart attack and dying when you're really skinny and young, and that's no good. Hello, welcome to the stream. Yeah. The only stream on the educational side. Well, I doubt I am the only stream on the educational side, but I'm a mom. The reason I'm streaming is to be a little bit educational. And if you guys have topics that you want me to cover and problems that you're having, issues in your life, absolutely feel free to suggest them. Oh, and actually, as I'm harvesting the wheat here, I should ask, how is the sound? Is the sound good for you guys? Like, can you hear things? Is harvesting at the appropriate volume relative to my voice? And yes, doesn't it break down all the muscles? That's right, it does. When you have anorexia, it breaks down all of your muscles because your body basically, it's starving for food. And so instead of using fat in your system, once you've used up all the fat in your system, then it eats itself. Basically, your body starts eating itself, and your body starts eating all of your muscles. Oops, and I need to eat some bread instead of carrots here. But your body starts eating all of the muscles, including your heart muscles, and it's really, really bad for you. So if you have a friend or yourself who has a problem with body image and not eating any food, then it's not a harmless problem. It can be a very deadly problem. So I encourage you to get help for that. And depending, then you can start with self-help, and if self-help doesn't work, then seek professional help, because not eating is self-harm, and that's a bad thing. Let's see here. So that was it on anorexia that I had. So yeah, eating for gamers. Most of the time, though, gamers do not have the stereotype of eating too little. We gamers have the stereotype of eating too much, or not more than just eating too much. It's not exercising enough. And for gamers, one of the things that I have discovered is that eating, if I have food right by my computer, that's a really, really bad habit, especially if it is unhealthy food. And for me, myself, then I find that the best place to exercise self-control is at the grocery store. Just not letting unhealthy food into the house at all, because it is far easier to not buy it. And now that I'm doing all of our shopping online and then getting everything delivered, it's even easier than that to not buy the food, because I don't see the food sitting in front of me. I just see a little computer image of the food, and that makes it easier to not bring unhealthy food into the house, and I find that for me is the easiest way to not eat the unhealthy food, because once it's in the house, I have a really hard time avoiding it. So that is tip number one. And let me see, somebody made a chest. Okay, the chest says carrots, and therefore I will put carrots in here. I can do that. And then, wow, we have a lot of carrots. Okay. So next, let's harvest some wheat, and then I'm going to breed those cows that I brought home yesterday, so... Oh, you're getting hungry. I'm talking about food so much. I'm sorry. Well, eat healthy food, fruits or vegetables, because most of the people... So I have never been on a formal diet. I have never been overweight. I weigh about 7 pounds more than I wish I did, but my mom was always struggling with weight, and one of the pieces of advice that she gave me is set a maximum weight beyond which you are not willing to go, and never let yourself get beyond that, and because once you get up there, it's so much harder to lose it than it is to just not gain it. And when I was younger, in my 20s and 30s, that wasn't hard. But once I got to my 40s, it's amazing. Like they say, your metabolism changes, and sure enough, it did. I was no longer able to just kind of eat whatever I wanted, and as long as I was exercising, the weight would come off. Now I have to make sure that I don't overeat. And for myself, I've discovered in previous years, prior to the pandemic, then I did a pretty good job when we were just eating at home. But every time I would go out to a restaurant, I would want to eat all the delicious food on my plate that I had just ordered and paid for, and I would end up overeating every single time I went to a restaurant. And I would gain, I've got a scale in my bathroom, and I just weigh myself once a day, and I would gain about 1 or 2 pounds every... Oh no, where did that creeper come from? So annoying. Okay. I would gain like 1 or 2 pounds every single time I went to a restaurant. And let's say we were going out once a month, and every time I'd be able to lose it like slowly. I'd lose weight at the rate of about 2 pounds per month, and then we'd go out to a restaurant and I would gain 2 pounds in a day. It wouldn't be just that meal. It wouldn't just come off, which was really annoying, the way it would when I was younger. And so I discovered that I need to eat healthier, or rather eat less food when I go out to restaurants. And one of the ways that I learned how to do that when I went out, this is pre-pandemic, I met friends for lunch, and one of the ladies, what she did was she asked for a doggy bag right at the very beginning, or a takeout bag, right at the very beginning of our meal, and she put half of her restaurant food into the doggy bag before she even ate the rest of her lunch. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is brilliant, because then she's not tempted to eat the whole meal at the restaurant. She just eats half of the meal at the restaurant and has the other half to take home. Hello! Welcome, Sonato Fox. I'm glad you were able to make it tonight, and I hope your internet holds up this evening. I am just doing gamer healthy eating tips. So yeah, you can feel free to watch the stream later if desired. Right now, oh wait, that one's wheat. Which one is, yeah, this is for seeds. And how to eat healthy when you're a gamer. And for gamers, there's also gamifying what you eat. So there are definitely apps out there that will help you if you need to lose weight and track your eating. I found for one of the scout things that I did, the kids had to track everything that they ate for 3 days. And as part of being their merit badge counselor, then I looked at a bunch of different apps And one of the ones that I found was easiest to use was an app called Lose It. And it's got a little orange scale is the icon for it if you find it in the App Store. And it was really easy to use. You just basically scan the barcode of everything that you eat. And if you're making a recipe from scratch, you just scan the barcode of all of the items that you're eating, that you're putting in your recipe from scratch. And then you say how many portions. So like I made pizza from scratch from flour and yeast and cheese straight for the family. And so I put in, you know, I had this many cups of cheese and this much flour, and the app just told me, okay, so if that's your pizza and you're cutting that pizza into 8 slices, then each slice is so many calories. Hello. All right. Well, make sure you keep your electronics dry. I'm happy to entertain you. All right. Yeah, I'm just harvesting the wheat, and then, oh yeah, I didn't show you guys my cows. So I brought home the cows from the other night, and let me breed these guys, and there we go, so that we can have more cows, so that I can have more item frames. So here you go, cows. Come on, breed. There you go. Let's make babies. Yeah, so tonight is just breeding cows. The Minecraft stuff is not very exciting, but that lets me concentrate a little bit more on talking to you guys. Oh, what do I need the item frames for? Oh, let me show you. I almost have enough in my house, but let me show you the rest of them. So here we go. So this is, wait, where did it go? There it is. Okay. So down here is my cows, and I've got double doors there. Oh, cowsies. So yes, I guess we made it home with 5 cows intact, and I've been breeding them as I can. And so this is my other herd of cows. And then I took of those cows that once I had a pretty decent herd here, then I separated the herd so that if a creeper spawns in here or something and kills all my cows again, then I will have a second location for cows, because bringing cows back was a very tedious process. Okay, so now that I've bred them, let me use my looting 3 sword to get some leather. Hey, cow. Oh, did I kill a baby? I'm sorry, baby cow. Okay, and let's see. I've just got 4 steak, but I have 9 of those. Okay, so what we're gonna do is head out of here, and I'll show you what the item frames are for. And one of these days, I'm going to put stairs here so that it's easier to get out. I just haven't done that yet. Okay, and then which direction am I going? This way. Back to my house. Yes, looting 3 is very nice. And unfortunately, the villager who sold the looting 3 books died in the Great Villager route, and we do not yet have a new villager who, oh wait, I don't want to be in that room, I want to be in this room. We do not yet have a new villager who will sell us looting 3. But anyway, here we are, and so this is what I'm using the item frames for, so that I know what to put in which chest. So I can put carrots in here, and stone ought to go in here, but I haven't finished. So this stone, it means stone and granite and other stuff like that. And then I'm going to take all this wood out of here, and dirt and stuff. That doesn't belong in this one. And trees and grass and that sort of thing. This one is for stone. And then put all the wood in this one. And so this way, oops, wait, grass goes in the dirt one. So wood and nature sorts of things go here. Oh, hey, no problem, Sonata Fox. Well, I am glad that you can have an entertaining shower. Okay, so here we go. We've got dirt and all of that. So this is what I need the item frames for, and I haven't quite finished yet. I need to do an item frame for this one up here, and then I kind of intend to fill this whole room with chests because that's the kind of person I am. I am a natural hoarder, what can I say? So I'm going to fill this room with chests, and they're all going to need item frames, and some of them are even going to need 2 item frames per chest because I'm going to need to put like more than one thing. If a chest, cobblestone, it's pretty easy to fill up, but it takes a long time to fill up a chest with redstone, so I might have something more than just redstone in there. So here we go. Let's make some more item frames. All right. So yeah, healthy eating. Where was I? I was giving tips for healthy eating. Yeah, so one of them was when you go out to a restaurant, if you ever do that, then ask for a goodie bag right at the start of eating your food so that you only eat half the food they give you. Now, I know a lot of you live in other countries, and maybe they don't supersize your portions in other countries, but in the US, it is definitely a problem that they feed us too much food when we go to restaurants these days. Okay, so let me make some more chests. Let's see here. Here we go. And we don't want to eat too much. The other thing is, when you're gaming, just keep the food away from where you are eating or where you are gaming, so that if you need to eat, you have to get up from the computer and go eat. You're not gonna want to, like, it's so easy once you've got food right next to where you are gaming to just keep eating, and that obviously isn't healthy. One of the tips is only eat when you're hungry, and don't eat until you're full. Just eat until you are no longer hungry. And that is another thing you can do to help keep from becoming too overweight, because becoming too overweight makes everything else harder in life. It makes it harder to sleep, it makes it harder to exercise, makes it harder to keep your mental health in check. So it's easiest if you're able to keep control of your weight to begin with. And as a gamer, that is sometimes really hard. And I know, like, losing weight, once you get it too high, is really, really difficult. I got up to 146, so I consider my ideal weight to be about 135, and I got up to 146 after going to Boy Scout summer camp and eating too much food for an entire week in a row and not being able to weigh myself all the time. And which is what I normally do. I say to myself every morning, oh, okay, oops, it looks like I ate too much yesterday. I should eat a little less today if it gets too high. And I went to summer camp and I gained 3 pounds, and then I went to oops, that is not where I meant to put that. Then I went to summer camp again a couple of weeks later and gained 3 more pounds, and then I was 6 pounds overweight, and it took a really long time to lose it. And yeah, I haven't been inside a restaurant since last March either. Yeah, I really miss going to restaurants. I am so sick of cooking and cleaning. Like, I just want somebody else to do it for me, but that is not to be, and it's going to be a while. So, yeah, during the first 6 months of the pandemic, I lost 6 pounds, in part because I just did not have time to eat, and that was not good. That I was not exercising. I didn't change anything. I just had meetings from like 8 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock at night, and no time to eat meals in the morning. And once that was over and I got back to normal again, then I gained 2 pounds of it back. But I'm trying. At least I've been stable since then. Let's see here. So what was I doing? I was, right, showing you guys all my chests and stuff. So why don't I make one for, well, the seeds chest doesn't really belong here. And this chest over here, by the way, it's not labeled because it's my dump chest. It's just all the stuff I was holding before I started stream this evening. And I wanted to just have a place to put it. And I'll pick it back up when I'm finished tonight. Oh, yeah. Yeah, during pandemic, I lost 6 pounds at the beginning, and then I gained 2 of it back, and now I'm trying to lose those 2, and losing weight is really, really hard. I have to admit it is, well, and there's also you can do fad diets where, like, you do something that's not your normal habits, and you do it for a period of time, and you lose the weight. But then the problem is frequently when people do that, then after they've gotten down to whatever number it is they want to reach, then they go back to their old eating habits and the weight comes right back again. So it's important when you're making a diet to make a diet that you can stick with and sort of, oops, do not jump in the lava. So you want a diet that you can stick with, that you've got healthy food, and that you can, you know, that you're not going to stop doing once it's inconvenient to do so. And that is one of the really hard things to do for people. Now, in terms of lifetime diets, what are good, healthy lifetime diets that you can do for your whole life? And there's lots and lots of different diets out there. And I don't know, do you guys want me to go over all the bad ones that I've looked at? And or should I just cut straight to the one that medical professionals seem to be recommending as the most likely healthy long-term diet? Yeah, I don't like it when people drag things out forever. I'm going to cut straight to the punchline. The diet that seems to be the kind of thing that's the most healthy, that people can stick with the longest, is what's called Mediterranean diet. And basically, it's eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, eat fish as your primary protein, and for your oils, like the fats that you have in your diet, use olive oil as your fat, as opposed to vegetable oil, which, especially like partially hydrogenated vegetable oil, is really pretty unhealthy. Yeah. Hey, those plant can't be the only one drinking water. Oh, thank you. Yes. Now, a good thing to have next to your computer is a water bottle. Thank you guys very much for the water check. Every quarter hour on the quarter hour. I appreciate it very much. Yeah, water is, thanks for the water check and reminding me to talk about water too. Water is really important. And what water will do for you is it'll help, like when we feel dehydrated, sometimes our brains interpret the feeling of being dehydrated as we're hungry. But we're not actually hungry, we just don't have enough water in our systems. So if you drink water on a regular basis, then you won't feel as hungry. And yeah, your pee should be yellow, as they say, like a light yellow. It should never be dark yellow. And stay hydrated is also an extremely important tip. How did I get so much stuff? Okay, I will pick this up on the next round. Oh, not knowing what quarter hour means. Oh, okay. Yeah, quarter hour is like 15 minutes after the hour, 30 minutes after the hour, 45 minutes after the hour. I know that not everybody has English as their first language, so feel free to stop me if I use words you don't understand. Yep, 15 minutes is a quarter hour. That's right, because there's 60 minutes in an hour. So 60 divided by 4, meaning 1/4, is a quarter hour. Wait, why are there eggs in this chest? Okay. whoever put that sign there, I'm going to take out that sign. This is not a good place for eggs because eggs don't go into the composter very well. We are going to make a new chest for eggs. Do I have a chest on me? No. Okay, I need to go harvest some wood. So I have like used up all of my wood. Oh, and it's nighttime. Okay, let's make it daytime so it's a little safer to harvest wood and we don't get quite so many holes in our floor. Sleep. Yep, now you know. Okay, let's see here. No, I do not want to repeatedly open the door. I want to eat the bread. Then go out the door. All right, let's get some wood. Luckily, we live in a forest biome, and there is always wood around. I might even replant some of it one of these days, but I am a big sky person. I like sky. I mean, I enjoy when I'm camping going into the forest sometimes, but I really like big sky. I have relatives who live in Montana, and we drove to Montana once, and just driving in the car and seeing just huge plains and just so much sky, it made me feel really good. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just awestruck at lots of sky. So, yes, down with the trees. Give me sky. Oh, okay, yeah, we'll see you in a minute. I hope your Wi-Fi gets fixed soon. And there we go. Trees and more trees. So yeah, any questions on food? Let's see, there's some diets out there. I guess I could go over all of the unhealthy diets. I can't go over all the unhealthy diets. There are so many unhealthy fad diets out there, most of which are not made by nutritionists, most of which do work in the short term, because if they didn't work in the short term, then they'd never make it as far as people actually hearing about it. But the problem is they don't tend to work in the long term. Yeah, so I said something about fish. Why was fish good to eat? So, yeah, it's one of the things they say. So fish is good to eat because of the fatty acids that fish has. So fish has what's known as omega-3 fatty acids in it. And that is like the main ingredient in fish oil, I suppose. And what the omega-3 fatty acids do is they reduce inflammation in the body. And inflammation is like it causes your body to sort of be a little bit swollen, and it's not good for your body. It causes like arthritis and just general feelings of ill health when there is inflammation in your body. And so omega-3 fatty acids help cut down on that. They helps, like, it's cholesterol, but it's the good kind of cholesterol. There is a really funny diet. Okay, so what do I think of the intermittent fasting diet? So I had a friend who was on that for years, and he swore by it. He thought it was great, and then he developed problems with they called it adrenal fatigue, and then he's like, oh, maybe this wasn't such a good idea. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. It definitely helped him keep his weight in check, and he thought he had all this energy, and then he basically, after like 2 or 3 years, his body just kind of crashed, and it was it was not good. And he's like, maybe I shouldn't have done this after all. And so he looked up other people who had that problem with that diet. And he's like, oh, yeah, okay, I guess I could see that this was a thing that sometimes happens to people who do this diet. And that's my own personal, my friend's personal experience with the intermittent fasting diet. So it's one of those that works for a while, but isn't really great for the long run. Like, not great for years. And that's sort of a lesson, is any kind of thing that you're considering doing with your body, find somebody old who has done that thing with their body for years. And so, people are asking, what is the intermittent fasting diet? So intermittent fasting diet is, you can look it up on the internet, but my understanding is basically it's like if you don't eat for most of the day and you just have one meal at dinner, I think, if I recall correctly. And then it's kind of every other day you eat normally. So you'll eat normally for a day, and then the next day you won't eat anything until dinner. I believe, yeah, there you go. You only eat at certain times of day. And so, good luck to your mom. And I hope it works for her, but just be aware that it's one of those things, people who are on it for a long time, like years and years, it's, yeah, it's not good. So, I recommend any diet or anything that you're doing with your body that's different from kind of standard. Try to find somebody old who's been doing it for more than a decade and ask them, hey, how's this working for you? Because some of these things, to use illegal drugs, for example, there are some illegal drugs. Now, I do not recommend that anybody take any illegal drugs at all, but there are some that you can find old people who have recreationally used marijuana just on weekends for decades, and they're fine. Now, you can also find old people who got seriously messed up by taking marijuana, like certain relatives of mine, but it is possible to find healthy old people who do that regularly. It is not possible to find any healthy old people who take meth, like methamphetamines, or you die within 5 years if you get on meth. So don't do it. Don't ever start. Like, I know it's a thing that people get curious about, but just don't, because you're gonna wind up dead soon. Similarly with getting addicted to opioids. And I am drinking here my water. Most of the time, people who wind up addicted to opioids, they started out because they had a physical problem, like, childbirth or something like that, where you need... Wait, why is there only one wheat there? That makes no sense. Okay. Something like childbirth, where they give you drugs afterwards, and you go home and you take them, and then you're still feeling hurt afterwards, and so you just keep taking them, and then you wind up addicted, and then you wind up really addicted, and that is not good. What was I looking for? Sorry, guys. I can't think and talk, or I can't do Minecraft and talk at the same time unless it's something really, really simple, which is why I like harvesting wheat on stream. Okay, but I am getting better. I am learning, and these are new skills for me. And yeah. What if drugs shows us the real world and the air we breathe is drugged, and that makes us see another reality? That's an interesting way of looking at the world. You might be a philosopher. It's a good philosophical question that people like to ponder, is what is reality? But for me, I prefer my reality without drugs. Okay, let's put these in here. Yeah, being prescribed opioids from doctors is a huge cause of people getting addicted. And it's not, in some sense it's not their fault, or I mean, a little bit the doctor's fault, but the doctors didn't realize how big of a problem it was. And with some of the drugs, there were, at least in the US, there were prescription, like the recommendations were wrong. So they would give people drugs that would wear off after 8 hours and tell them to take the drugs once every 12 hours. And then when people would say, but I'm in pain after 8 hours, then instead of telling them to take the next set of drugs after only 8 hours instead of after 12 hours, they would increase the amount of drugs that they were taking because the person was still in pain. And it was potentially like they're having lawsuits over whether the drug companies knew that this was a bad thing and they knew that this was going to be the problem, and they did it on purpose in order to get people hooked on the drugs, or if it was just sort of an accident and a mistake and they didn't really mean to hurt people. It just kind of, people make mistakes sometimes, and it's really awful to make mistakes that like cost so many people their lives, but people are human. People make mistakes. And so now there's lawsuits to determine whether they made the mistakes on purpose or made them accidentally. But it's really sad when people get addicted to drugs, and you don't tend to stay that way for decades. So yeah, don't do drugs, boys and girls. Yeah. Yeah, but one of the things, why do people start taking drugs? Full disclosure, I have never taken illegal drugs. I mean, occasionally I get prescribed stuff by my doctor for a short period of time, but I am not on anything long term. But a lot of times the reason people take illegal drugs is, I mean, they say it's peer pressure, but depending on who your peers are, you can go a long time without having peer pressure. But a lot of the reason people take illegal drugs is because they're curious. Like, they just want to know what's going to happen if they do it. And the problem is, there are some drugs that you might be able to stop, although marijuana is quite addictive, that you might be able to stop. But there's other drugs that, after even the very first time you do them, your body becomes chemically and physically addicted. So you can't stop, and you need a lot of outside help. And they talk about, you see it in the news every so often, of famous rich people going into rehab and going into rehab again and going into rehab again. And those drug rehab places are really, really expensive. And, rich people with all the money in the world to spend on the best rehab places in the world still wind up addicted and going back and going back and going back and being unable to get themselves clean for a long period of time. And so, really, Zombie? I was in the middle of an important talk here. Just a moment. And as a society, we don't tend to have enough money to pay for expensive treatments for everybody. But it's really, really hard to get off drugs once you get onto them. And there isn't enough money in the world for everybody to do that. And so your only real option is to just not start. And I know people get curious, but there are things you can learn about just by reading and listening to other people's experiences and decide, you know what? I don't need to be curious about something that will cost my family hundreds of thousands of dollars and still will leave me pretty seriously messed up. Yeah. So let me read chat. Sorry, I got behind, guys, when the zombie came. Yeah, don't. Drug addiction changes people for the worse. Don't do them. That is right. Yeah, until we don't open the box, there could be two possibilities. Ah, talking about Schrodinger's cat there. Um, yeah, drug addiction changes people for the worse. Yeah, I'm glad you're happy with your life. And why do you think drugs aren't illegal? Ah, it depends on what country you're in, I suppose. Question is, does diet have the possibility to kill you? Well, medicine is a drug. The other kind of drugs, medicine or eat, of course it's illegal. So, yeah, so, okay, to address the issues that have come up in chat. So, in California, the state where I live in, they have relatively recently made marijuana legal. I still think it's a really bad idea to take it, but part of it is they came to the reality that there were enough people taking marijuana and doing marijuana that they really couldn't stop it, and so they could control it better if it was legal and help people get help basically if it was legal to do it. So they made it legal. What they call the hard drugs are still illegal in California. And the reason why they're illegal is because they mess you up so much. And there are some people who will, like, when I was a kid, I used to think we can't possibly make drugs legal because then people would do them. As I became more grown up, I realized people are doing drugs anyway, whether they're legal or not. And therefore, if we make some of them legal and keep other ones illegal, maybe people will only do the legal ones, which it's easier to help people with their addictions with. And well, we'll see how that experiment plays out. But I think there are definitely, I mean, I know one friend who's, yeah, I probably shouldn't say, but I definitely know people who have had many more problems. Like they were on the cusp. They wouldn't do the drugs if they were illegal, but they would do them if they were legal. And there were some people who kind of messed up their lives and their marriages by starting to do the drugs after they became legal. So I personally would prefer that they were still illegal, but I recognize that the other aspects of it's not causing as many societal problems with respect to gangs controlling the drugs and all of that, that when you can control the drugs on a state level, then it means that people aren't doing shady things, because once you've started doing illegal things, you might as well do more illegal things, right? So people weren't doing shady things to get the drugs, and therefore it was better for the people who were doing the drugs, who were going to do them anyway, whether they were legal or not. But where it changes it is the people who are on the margin and who will only do them if they're legal. So I recommend not doing them whether they're legal or not. Now, this is obviously different than if your doctor prescribes you drugs for a specific reason, than like antibiotics if you have a strep infection. That's something that you want to do. And keep taking them until your course of antibiotics is all the way over. So, yeah, how did we get on illegal drugs? But, yeah, why do people do drugs? I wish I knew, and I want to help you guys not. I mean, why do drugs when you can game? Or actually, one of the reasons people do drugs is because they're curious. Another reason people do drugs is because they want to escape, like, the reality that they have built for themselves. I mean, sometimes real life has its downsides, and they want to escape the downsides that are happening in real life. But the problem is when you do drugs, then your real life doesn't get any better. You might escape it for a short time, but it doesn't make your real life any better. And so if you're in that place where your real life just is bad, you have to figure out, okay, what are the positive ways that I can change my life? What things can I do today to find happiness and enjoyment and fulfillment without turning to escapism? And that answer is different for everybody. For me, then, I had, we're in pandemic. Life is kind of annoying, but I am really enjoying streaming for you guys. Like, I could have done other things, but I'm deciding to make this channel and stream for you guys and stuff like that. So yeah, the feeling you get from certain drugs that people get addicted to, not the substance itself. Yeah, so sometimes it's the feeling you get that people get addicted to, and that's where, like, you can get addicted to video games. That is definitely a feeling you can get addicted to, but with some drugs, then there are cellular changes that actually, especially the ones like heroin and opioids and things like that, your cells and cocaine, your cells in your body get addicted to them right away, and it's really bad for you. Let's see here. Do I still have eggs on me? No. What do I have? Beets. Oh, right. I was going to move all the eggs out of here and get rid of these seeds. Okay. Oh. Okay, that's not over full. So why is the hopper not working? Okay. Yeah, and so, yeah, if you're depressed, so I'm going to do a stream on depression. I'm going to leave that topic for tonight because depression gets its own whole 1 hour stream, and it's going to be at the end. So, oh my goodness, it's almost 2 already. I guess I'll give you guys a preview of what's coming up next. So, today was healthy eating, and I'm going to do basically eating, sleeping, exercise, and mental health. And mental health is going to be broken up into at least 2 nights with depression and anxiety. And how do you, all of these things work together? So eating, sleeping, exercise, and mental health, like they all are intertwined. And when one of them is out of whack, it tends to pull the others out of whack as well. And so it helps. So I'm Gamer Mom. I'm going to try to help you guys get all of those things in balance with each other. And let's see here. Strawberry. Look in the hopper itself. Oh, if the hopper's filled with eggs. Thank you. Good point. Yep. Hopper's all filled with eggs. You guys are brilliant. Okay. You want to discuss about reality? Oh, so somebody asked, are you all Christians? So I am, in fact, a Christian. I am an Episcopalian, which is an Anglican, so it's the American branch of the Anglican Church, which is the Church of England. And I grew up that way, but if I had a choice, if I had a choice, I do have a choice. If I were searching for a church now, then that would be the kind that I would choose again. I think that they have very good positions. Like they were one of the first Protestant churches to be okay with gay rights, which is very important to me. And it took a long time and a lot of talking to make that happen, but like if I had to choose a church again, then I would choose to be Episcopalian again. And I definitely have gotten a lot out of my religion over time, but tonight's stream was not on religion. Let's see here. But I can do a religion stream if you guys are interested and just go over all the major world religions and what their general tenets are and what's good and bad if you are interested. Okay, now can we discuss about reality? All right. Okay, well, I think actually reality is Minecraft, Minecraft is reality. I am going to, it's about 2. I think I've said all I had to say on diets. There's the keto diet, which is like putting yourself into a diabetic state in order to lose weight. There's the Atkins diet, which is kind of similar. There's the grapefruit diet, where you just eat grapefruit for a while. There's the intermittent fasting diet. All of these, they tend to work for decades and decades. They'll work for a short period of time, but not decades. The only one that seems to be able to work for decades is the Mediterranean diet. And then, in general, just healthy eating, sensible portions, keep half your grains whole, eat fruits and veggies, vary your vegetables, and vary your protein. So, I love you guys. I hope you have healthy eating. Tomorrow is going to be on sleep and what the research says about sleep, which hopefully you'll get something out of that one too. So good night, everybody. I am going to find somebody to raid.